Hello everyone and welcome to a video called The Nesters Found Me. This is a found footage analog horror thing created by Glendale Archive, which is like I think like an ARG. I think this is a whole ass ARG where we've got like creepypasta levels of storytelling and like some really cool found footage stuff. So that's what we're here to check out, and I do have a confession. I did see this video, but let me explain myself, alright? I watched this video as a reaction video, we recorded it and everything, and during the editing process, I went to go edit this and it had no audio. The actual video itself had no audio, so basically we're here to re-record this because this was really cool, and all of this stuff is just so much establishing that I figured that we might as well just do it again so that we can watch the rest of this, because there's a lot here. There's like actually 10 full videos, I think. No, not that many, Jesus Christ. But there is 6. There is 6 full videos. Some of them are shorter than others, but there is 6 entire videos along with a bunch of shorts and a bunch of comments that we can read that are like in canon. They're the person like discovering these tapes or whatever, responding to comments. So this is something that is very, very neat. And if I'm not mistaken, this is gonna lean a lot more towards like liminal space type stuff. And if that is the case, then I'm gonna like this even more because I love liminal spaces. Liminal spaces are sick.
All right, day 8 of squatting in this house.
Day
It's
8.
been really nice, actually.
I'm not gonna
I've
mock
been able
this
to
guy.
sleep, shower, recharge. I even managed to get the electricity up and running.
I love
Not
the
sure for
filter
how
here.
long. That means I have a working oven, which is really
Nice.
great. I try not to turn on any lights, especially at night,
Yeah.
because I don't want to attract any attention to this house.
These
But
camera
last night,
shots.
I messed up like an idiot.
Like an
I leaned
idiot.
against the light switch and I turned on the living room lights, and the house lit up like a jack-o'-lantern.
That's
Just
so
for a
funny.
second. And now this morning I see someone out in the woods, lurking around.
I love the setup.
Yeah, I see you.
How quick is this? How quick is this? 47 seconds in, and we're looking at a man in the woods with like a fucking mask on,
It could
staring
just be
at him.
passing by. It could
Oh,
be
man.
nothing.
So cool.
But, makes
And
me
again, I
nervous.
know I've
haven't
seen this
him in
stuff,
a few hours,
and I am so sorry,
but
but
it really makes me uneasy.
getting through it.
So tonight, in addition to cooking my favorite meal, chicken parm, I'll
Hell
be
yeah.
battening down the hatches,
Home Alone.
tightening the security,
Yeah.
just in case whatever is out there isn't just passing through.
This is a very composed man for what is happening. I mean, maybe he's freaking out on the inside, but every time he's recording, he's just so composed, even though the potential of like a monster showing up and also every single person is gone. Like, damn. Also, we are gonna
Power's on
retread
here.
some
That's
ground that we talked about
see.
before. That makes sense.
We need a few different things.
Like, we're gonna talk about the same shit. Because we brought up some interesting stuff on the first watch. Ooh, got the panko. A little bit of chocolate. I love that he's so respectful. He's not, like, knocking things down. Ugh. Interesting. $60, damn. That's, like, too much. Do, like, a 20, man.
You never know. So as I mentioned, I need to prioritize security in this house tonight. I've identified about 3 weak points where an intruder could breach our defenses, and each requires its own special security system, if you will.
Okay.
Weak zone number 1 is the furnace room window. There's no
Furnace
lock
room
on
window.
this window, so I've set up a tripwire, and about
like
7
FNAF.
feet 6 inches away, the average height of a nester,
Ugh.
I've strategically positioned a knife upright.
The
When
average
triggered,
height of
the
a
tripwire
nester.
will send the blade straight into the upper chest or the face.
What's so interesting to me is that this guy just has this shit down. It's like he read a notebook about what these things were. Like, how long was he in this place before he decided to start recording, you know? How long did it take him to pull out the camera? How many things did he kill at this point in time, if any? What do you mean the average height of a nester? What do you mean a nester? How do you know that?
Weak zone 2. at the
It's
basement
so
door.
interesting.
Now, the house is settled pretty unevenly, making this door impossible to keep locked. If a nester enters through here, they'll hear a tape recorder in the next room playing my voice saying the following. Don't hurt me. Don't come in here, please. The recording will
Please.
lure them
That's so
deeper
funny.
inside, right into a
Don't hurt
sensor-triggered
me.
assault. Weak zone 3, the porch passage
Don't
door.
come in
Now this
here.
leads directly into the same basement door with the broken locks. When someone opens this porch door, the friction will strike matches against an igniter that I've rigged. And the matches will ignite a portable gas tank that's been slowly leaking gas all night, so hopefully burning any nester who tries to breach that passageway. And I've also installed noisemakers on all the door handles. So
that was like, did you hear that auto tune?
Coming, and I'll see them coming, and that these traps will keep them out, and I'll be able to sleep safely tonight.
So that's another interesting thing. I don't know this guy's backstory, but he's like setting up shots. He's like getting B-roll. Like, he's doing that. In canon, he's walking around with a, like, he went and set up a camera on a tripod at the end of the way, and then he started walking down it, explaining his entire plan, and presumably edited it all together, unless that was the person who found all the tapes or whatever. But either way, was this guy a film guy? Or did he just come across a bunch of cameras and started filming because he's going crazy and doesn't have anything to do to, like, pass the time? Because obviously that's kind of where he's at right now. But I wonder if this is something that he used to do. Because he's, like, good at it. He's getting proper B-roll and stuff. And he's, like, lighting all the shots perfectly. Like, what are you doing, dude? I mean, also, from a meta perspective, like, good job.
Now?
I'm gonna fillet the chicken now. Like, the actual person who made this, outside of the lore, outside of all the canon, bravo on all this lighting and stuff, and all the camera work and the shots. Like, even just this, he's doing like a cooking video in a horror analog thing, and he has this like perfect spotlight. It's almost like, it kind of reminds me of Five Nights at Freddy's 6, when you're doing the scrap minigame where you have to like look down at the tape recorder and look back up. It's that same kind of like spotlight surrounded by darkness that's just kind of creepy and really effective.
This ensures that the chicken is going to be nice
and then he's just smacking chicken with a spoon. Okay. It's like a fucking ASMR video. Oh my god. That's fucked up.
Just get rid of that.
He's doing it like one at a time. Usually I have like, anytime I make fried chicken, I have 3 different dishes.
It's time.
I guess that wastes dishes
chicken
though.
Good.
He's probably doing it in a smarter way, honestly.
Technically, the panko makes it like a chicken katsu. Some grated parm.
Yeah, but chicken katsu is awesome.
That's gonna caramelize really nicely on the chicken. Now some salt and pepper.
Nice.
Let's mix this all up.
Okay. He's really whipping it up in the kitchen, though. Like, you can't even be upset about it. Sometimes when I say a word, it doesn't actually work properly. He's not really...
Right,
I feel like he's not getting that good of coverage.
These bad boys up.
Yeah, fry him up. Like, he's really cooking that shit up.
Probably not good to add the oil over an open flame, but I don't know, I feel like I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna get this oil nice and hot.
Yep.
Now you know the oil's ready when you dip the chicken in. It sizzles. Ooh, is that ready? That is ready. I'm actually gonna lower the heat. That's insane.
Yeah, that's a little crazy. It's so weird that this is just him cooking.
It's very golden brown.
True.
I don't like when it's too pale. I like when it's crispy.
Crispy. I agree, honestly. I cook the shit out of my chicken. What the fuck? That's pretty good, honestly.
So
not that even of a coating, though.
Broil the mozzarella cheese on.
I feel like he didn't push the panko in or anything like that. He
All
just
right,
kind
here we
of.
go. Now I'm gonna throw this into the oven and broil it.
That's fair, actually. If you're gonna extra cook it, you're probably cooking. I mean, he is cooking no matter what, but you know what I mean.
I figured while the chicken parm is cooking, I'm gonna set up my sleeping quarters for the night, make a fire. I was sleeping in the living room before, but to be honest, it's too far from an exit. And given that there was that stranger outside earlier, makes sense to be close to the exit, you know, in case anything happens. It makes it convenient, you know? Kitchen's right
That
here.
is true.
Make a midnight snack. So I'm gonna set up the fire for the evening.
They have a fireplace in the kitchen? That is
Your
crazy.
base.
That's some rich stuff. Whoa. Okay, wait. He's got 2 pairs of pants. Okay. That worried me for a second.
Oh, I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry. I'm mood tonight.
He's also like, he's good at putting the mic where it needs to be, like,
And we can't forget the sauce.
and
This
the
particular
perfect
sauce I found,
lighting.
It's called Michael's of Brooklyn. Tomatoes, fresh garlic, fresh basil, Italian olive
Ooh.
oil, oregano, fresh parsley, salt, black pepper, and nothing else, it says in big exclamation points.
Sure.
I can't read that.
That sounds good though. Sounds good. Oof, the ASMR. Like he's good at doing this. He's good at setting this up in universe. He's even doing the crust check. You know, like this is classic stuff right here. Bro knows what he's doing. He's been around the block a few times. So maybe in universe
You
this
always
guy
put the sauce on last so it doesn't
did
get
movie
soggy.
stuff.
And of course, last but not least, basil.
Yeah.
And that is it. Bon appetit.
That is true. Yeah, that's damn.
I'm so hungry. Let's see how this tastes.
I'm so hungry. That one line sounds a little off. That doesn't sound right. I feel like he did not eat with that line. He did eat later though in the fork and he.
It's amazing.
Never mind.
I am not. Had chicken parm forever.
Yeah, how long have you been here? Not here, but how long has everyone been gone for you? And who are you recording this for?
All that
Yourself?
walking around today.
Has
I'm
to be.
hungry. That guy really freaked me out outside. I
But he
think that
kept
just that
his
anxiety
composure.
just takes a lot out of me. There's like nothing like really good chicken parm. So you really have to tenderize it and flatten it out so it becomes more like a chicken cutlet.
That is true. Yeah, the more surface area you got, the more
Got like
crunch.
restaurants where you go and you get the chicken or any dish and it's like not good. It's like you should be losing sleep to make sure that your chicken is flavorful. You go to a chicken place and like the skin comes off the chicken, all the flavors on top, it's in the skin.
And now he's just
And then,
fully just
the
having a
chicken itself
conversation.
is just like bland.
He goes from like filming properly and filming like it's a instruction video or like it's a proper documentary. And then the second he eats this chicken parm, which is like his favorite dish, he just breaks out into like full conversation, just talking to himself at the camera. That's such a cool little like detail. The people who made this clearly know what they're doing. They know what they're doing a lot. They are cooking, literally and figuratively.
What are you doing? I'm doing this
What are you
restaurant for
doing?
rich people cooking for me. Man, I'm lonely tonight.
Damn.
Particularly lonely.
Very truthful
Sorta.
too.
Missing some camaraderie, I think.
How long have you been here? Tell me.
I tell you what I miss about people right now. It's feeling in debt to people.
Damn.
Emotionally more than anything. You know, being predator to other people's unresolved issues.
Damn.
Feeling obligated to give my time.
He's really getting real, huh? I say as I've seen this before. Listen, I know. I'm sorry. Listen,
I always would put boundaries around my time.
I'm trying to play it off like nothing happened.
And
Okay.
Sometimes I felt like I had to lie to people because people can be really selfish with your time. If they thought that they could get more from you, they take it.
That is
You know,
true. That's not always the case, but sometimes that
that's
is
what I
true.
always hated about having a job. There was always this sense that when you work for someone, they expect you to they expect to squeeze every bit of time they can out of you because they're paying you,
Yep.
and they're not going to pay you for nothing. You know, there are people who believe that because they're giving you money, the money that they know you need to live, they can take advantage of you.
Facts. I'm like that TikTok right
They
now.
assume
Any
that if you
TikTok
need the
just
job, you'll do whatever they ask, no matter how stupid or pointless it is, because
I got
after
nothing
all,
to add right now.
they're paying you.
We have to let him
You know,
spit for a second before we can add anything.
I don't know.
But all of this is 100% true. This is, I mean, when I used to work at a gas station, they kept trying to get me to do everything, and I always would. I was never very upset about it or anything like that. But when I did put my foot down on certain things, when I was like, yeah, I'm only going to work this amount of time, or, oh, I can't work these days, and there's not really any way I can get around it, they got very, very upset with me, even though at a certain point I do have to set this like boundary because I am not going to spend my entire life at a gas station. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to limit my time here. And even still to this day, after like leaving and, you know, quitting that job, every time I go to that gas station, my old manager looks at me with like disdain, and I'm like, oh man, I get it. I didn't work very much, and when I did work, I was doing stuff, but I was also doing it at my own pace and kind of making sure that I didn't overwork myself, because one of the biggest things that was happening during that time is that my knee was fucked up, and I wasn't about to break my knee for actually a gas station. So healed. But to rope it back around to what this guy is saying, they will try to just use you for whatever. If you say yes to stuff, they'll ask you to do more stuff, and they'll ask you to do more stuff, and they'll be like, well, can you come in this day? Are you available this day? And like, it's just never ending. The more you say yes, the more you have on your plate, the more you don't sleep, the more you get tired, the less time you have for anything creative. And so the best thing to do in that situation is to just put your foot down, even though it sucks. I mean, that's what I did at least. I mean, sometimes that would get you fired probably, but I don't know. I'm a YouTube man. Don't listen to me. Let's watch the video now.
Money created this like really sick relationship with other people. Once someone gives you money, it becomes a trap, and it's really hard to escape. I'd work an 8-hour shift, and honestly, probably only worked 2 of those hours. The rest of the time, I just walk around with my clipboard, pretending to be busy. I'd move quickly, you know, like I had somewhere important to be, just to look productive.
They love that shit.
That's what a boss likes to see.
They love
Motion.
it. They love to see it.
You know, if they catch you sitting, they get pissed. Even if there's nothing left to do. You know? So I'd fake it. I'd walk around, look busy, you know, make them feel like they're getting their money's worth, but they weren't.
That's fucked up. But also reasonable. I don't blame him.
It's like they'd rather see you miserable and in motion than calm and at ease.
Of course.
Makes no sense.
Well, they
It's like
they
they
want
need to see
productivity.
struggle to feel justified in paying you. So
Yeah.
I pretended, because if I didn't, I'd get shit for it, you know?
That's how it is sometimes. Sometimes the bosses, the managers, when they see people that aren't having a tough time, they're mad because they are having a tough time. Because being a manager is incredibly difficult. Being a manager is a position that I would never, ever want to be in because it is way too much. It's so fucking much. And you always have to be there, especially in smaller locations where, like, you're, like, the only manager or you only have two. It's just a lot, and it's a little bit too much. And a lot of the time, these managers do get upset when they see their workers not really having that tough of a time. I remember when I was working at Walmart, there was a manager, only one, that would always get on me about not working hard enough. And, oh, well, you're just standing there. You need to go do something. And every other time that that manager wasn't there, it wouldn't happen at all. It was literally just them being upset that I was like not having a tougher time. Because while I was working there was a lot of times where nobody was there. I was just standing at a cash register and nothing was happening. So I just sat there and cleaned up a little bit, sat down, listened to like a little bit of a podcast or something. And every single time, all the other managers were constantly cool with this. They were like, "Yeah, whatever, do you." But this one guy, you could tell that he was upset and that he was constantly stressed. And I don't blame him cuz he's a manager at a Walmart. That has to suck. But at the end of the day, you can just tell sometimes when these people are like taking it out on their employees. And this guy is so correct with how he's spitting. He's spitting the truth. The truth. I don't know why I said it with a DA, but the truth.
And life is already hard enough, you don't need someone coming down on you for being efficient.
True.
And I know if I said that to an employer or a business owner, they probably think I'm the worst type of employee. But I mean, come on, man. Do you expect me to care about selling bullshit plastic products while I'm spending my finite time being here?
Damn.
Yeah.
Spitting facts.
Now, I know it wasn't my boss, personally. But it was what he represented, it was the whole system built so, like, rich people could get richer and everybody else sort of wastes their time.
Damn. So, maybe the reason this guy is so calm in this situation is because he doesn't want to go back, right? He doesn't want people to return. He prefers the world empty because he's finding ways to live. He has ways to survive. And that's never going to go away for his whole lifetime, probably. So he kind of prefers it this way. Even though he has to, kill an occasional nester, I think in his mind that's worth it to live without people.
And maybe if I wasn't forced to make money, I'd have time to foster the skills that truly make an impact, but that isn't realistic, though, so.
Yeah. That's the worst part of modern day society. All these super giant mega corporations have the means to just kind of like fix all this shit. But as of right now, every single person basically has to work themselves down to the bone to be able to afford rent and not anything else. You don't get extra time, you don't get extra money for yourself, nothing. Just barely scraping by. And that's like assuming you have the roommates to also help you pay for it. In which case you're not going to be like in debt, but you're still going to be barely making it. In a perfect world, everyone would be able to do the actual thing they like to do, whether that's painting, whether that's singing, whether that's basketball or painting, or it may be even just serving food at a fast food restaurant. I mean, just let people do that shit. People love to do things. People love to do different things. And it's sad that people are being forced into all these, like, lame, non-creative stuff and just suppressing all of their dreams and all their creative, like, ambition just to scrape by. And at the end of the day, if everyone could be a little bit more creative, I think everything would be better. And it would be a better place. But crazy, like, philosophical speech aside, let's just continue this. Let's get through this.
As much as I miss my family, they kept asking me to get a cell phone. I remember thinking to myself, like, no, I'm not doing that, Because once they knew I had a phone, I'd be available to them all the time. And I don't want to be available to people all the time. Sometimes I'd even lie. I'd say, I'm going to be out when I was actually going to be home, just so I had an excuse not to answer.
Damn.
And, maybe that's selfish. Maybe I just,
Ooh.
didn't want to talk.
Sound in the background when he said
wanted
selfish.
to be left alone. getting a cell phone felt like it was inviting people into my life on demand, and I didn't want
True.
that.
Fair enough.
It's not natural for people to have that kind of access to another person. I don't know. That's at least what I think, and I know it's probably comes from an inability to disappoint people. Some would say, "Why don't you just say no if they ask?" But
True.
I don't know. Sometimes no doesn't feel like a complete sentence. If I said
But
I
it
wasn't
is.
available, they want a reason.
That
And
is
maybe the
true.
reason is I just, like, I don't want to talk right now, you know? Or I was planning to watch a movie. You know, it sounds small, but it wasn't to me.
I love how this part
Maybe
just gets so
that's
real for no
what I
reason.
needed, you know? Feels like modern day communication was the thief of life.
Damn.
Now, after a long day, sometimes all I wanted to do to unwind was just, you know, relax. Just relax. But
Same.
saying I need to relax never felt like a good enough reason
Even though it
to
is.
fall short of somebody else's expectations,
Even though it's fine.
you know, even though it should have been.
It is.
So I didn't ask for it, I just took it. And if I had to lie to
Damn.
protect that time, I did. Because I shouldn't have to justify wanting peace.
And you don't.
And I know that's avoidant. Maybe that was life challenging me to grow. But sometimes I just don't want to grow. Sometimes
That's
I
fair
just
too.
want to rest.
I'm not
Defeats the
pausing it.
purpose of relaxing if I have to grow while doing it.
Fair enough.
You know, sometimes I want to say no to the challenge. Put a boundary around life itself, which sounds arrogant because it's impossible.
At least you know it's impossible.
You know, and maybe it's a mirror showing me something about myself that, you know, I don't want to see. My unhealthy desire to numb, my avoidance.
Oh my god.
Maybe it's showing me something deeper. I don't know. Maybe the truth is I really was afraid I was incapable of connecting with other people the way I wanted to.
Damn.
And that I would never feel close to my family and my friends, not the way I wanted to. At least, you know, and maybe that's why I kept telling myself that people only want to use my time, because it's easier to believe that than to imagine that they actually wanted to spend time with me,
Goddamn.
get to know me. You know?
So incredibly, like, philosophical and deep. And you can just tell that this guy has, like, a lot of emotional knowledge. Like, I mean, I don't know the proper terminology. I'm a funny YouTube man. But he's very emotionally smart. He knows, like, what things are and how to describe them. And he knows how to be introspective, I think is the right word. And this entire section here just feels so, like, real. It feels like this isn't even just part of the ARG. This is like a real moment of this director breaking through and like just spilling his heart out on camera. And I think that is so so cool. And everything he's saying is like very very accurate to a lot of people. And it's very hard to break out of that habit of just convincing yourself that everyone is just using you and it's all a transaction and everything is like numbers and ones and zeros and not emotions and people enjoying you as a person. But breaking out of that, once you do, as someone who used to think like that when I was younger, I used to have that type of mentality, and I used to be super edgy about it and very very much like, oh, and they're just using me, they just want to use me. Like, that type of mentality is so hard to break out of, but once you do, it's so worth it. Because even like right now where I'm at, I'm in such a better space mentally, and the people around me are better people, and everything is just great now because I'm at a point where I know that the people around me just want to hang out with me because they like hanging out with me. There is no question of that anymore. And that is so important. And I love that this guy's just like, just in the middle of an analog horror. He's just like, oh yeah, let me just fucking break it down for you guys, spill my heart out real quick. And I'm like, damn, that's so cool.
You know,
And I
some
know,
days the self-hatred really
we'll let you
runs so
speak.
deep, and I still can't picture people actually wanting to talk to me just to talk to me.
Damn.
It's safer to believe that everybody is a time-sucking vampire than to actually risk rejection.
Safer, but not better. That's the main difference. Because even though the option of just like, oh yeah, everyone sucks and they're all using me, that's the safest option, sure. But the best thing to do is to be brave and to step out of that and to recognize that putting yourself at risk is the best way to grow a relationship. You kind of have to. You got to like it's like when you're dealing with a dog or something and the dog is going to sniff your hand. You have to put your hand out towards the dog so it can sniff your hand. Even though you're risking the dog biting you during that moment, you giving that amount of trust gives like it's like an olive branch and both sides can kind of equally give trust and then you grow closer and you do that over and over and over until you're like the closest you could possibly be. And it's definitely terrifying, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it.
I don't know when I became so guarded. I never really felt safe around other people. If something bad happened, I never felt safe enough to share the pain with someone else, so I faced it alone.
Damn.
And with nowhere to let it out.
Now we can
Built
scream it
up
from the
over
rooftops because
years
no
and
one's there.
years until it got so deep, I couldn't tell you where it began or how to talk about it,
Damn.
People would ask me, what's wrong? I just
I'm gonna
say,
sneeze.
I don't know.
It's gonna happen. I told
And I
you.
used to tell myself that when the pain gets great, when it gets great enough, I'll share.
Damn.
I didn't want to bother anybody. Just felt like, it's not bad enough yet to burden others yet.
Damn.
And then one day, my brother died. And I still
He was
couldn't
about to
share
say
the
when they
pain.
died.
That excuse to keep putting it off, it's bottomless.
It is. It
won't
really
end
is.
until I make a beginning.
Damn. What a
And that
bar.
loneliness, it just breeds anger, blame, bitterness.
True. Like Ellie, Last of Us
I'd given
2.
anything to let that go. I just didn't know how.
Damn. Ugh.
So when I'm alone, I don't have to face any of that, I'm not disturbed. So anyway, I have my affirmation that I tell myself every day, and preparing me for when I see other people again.
Damn.
It goes like this. I
Goes a
am
little something like
likable,
this.
and I attract genuine connection.
Damn.
So, I
That's
say
good.
that to myself every day. Pretty good, right?
Yeah, affirmations are great. It sounds stupid, but genuinely telling yourself something every single day for a month, you'll start to believe that thing. Which means that also it works the opposite way. And if you were like, oh, I'm terrible every single day of the month, then you're going to believe that you're terrible. So even if you don't believe it at first, even if you're just saying it literally out loud in a mirror one time a day, saying something like that every single day will make you eventually believe it. And eventually you will believe that you are worthy and that people do genuinely believe you're a good person or that you like are worth being around and stuff. And you can it's a really good tool. It's a really good tool to break out of that type of stuff. This guy is actively spitting. This guy he's cooking.
But when people enter the picture, everything surfaces. Resentment, worry, doubt, fear.
Damn. True.
Giving my time forced me to confront all of that. And it pushes me to speak up when staying quiet would just feel so much more comfortable and safer.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm protective of my time. Not a good that's doing me now.
Yeah, you got a little too
That's
much
really
time.
because anything that wants to take it also stirs up everything that I'm still trying to keep buried.
Damn. He's so like, he just spits. Like,
Anyway,
the bars of this man as a director,
alright.
like, so much
It's time
props.
to
So much props.
hit the hay.
Not as me as a director. I'm saying, like, to the director themselves. It just so much props. I'm not a director. Not at all. But just, you know, like, this is so impressive. This is so well made. And I love this. Even though, you know, the horror stuff isn't really here yet. Nothing's really happened. I love the general style. General Style is also an amazing name for any sort of army character. I'm gonna keep... But just... Oh my god.
It's been a long day.
The visuals here. It's so good.
That was a tasty meal.
That was a tasty meal.
I have 2 chins.
No, don't worry about it, man.
Oh,
You're in the apocalypse. It's okay.
alright.
Don't go to sleep with the flashlight on your eyes.
See you in the
Please
morning.
turn that shit off, dude. It's like, damn, that's bright. Thank you. Ooh. 2:36 a.m. Ugh. I forgot how good the sound design is.
That's fire. That's definitely fire.
That's definitely fire. Damn. Oh my god. Damn. Oof. So cool. That's awesome. You love to see it. And then there's like another link to a thing, the telescope room from file 18. Which, this is the end of what we've seen, by the way. This was the final thing we saw. This is from file 18, which was found at Clarefield, PA site. Hashtag liminal space. It's just this guy. Who, I don't think he's the guy, right? He's not the guy. Maybe that's him with a hat. The telescope room. And there's like something hanging on him that doesn't really look like a backpack. I found the first crate buried 3 feet deep in a clearing in the Pennsylvania wilderness. No markings, no rust, just a collection of high-definition recordings that shouldn't exist. The footage depicts a man alone on an empty earth. He is calm, he cooks, he sleeps, and he wanders through a world that has clearly collapsed. Yet our world is still standing. There's been no apocalypse, no great silence, but for him it is already over. I am the archivist. I am documenting these files as they are unearthed. This is a record of a tragedy that hasn't happened, or perhaps one that already has. So this is just a whole ARG. This is an entire ARG, which we can go back to this first video, and we can look at the same thing, the description, and it is the backrooms found footage documents. This backrooms found footage documents a subject's survival against the Nesters during a quiet apocalypse. As he navigates the empty world, a single mistake reveals his location to the things watching from the liminal spaces. About this log, the analog horror entry captures the eerie calm of a life spent in solitude. From atmospheric ASMR to the tension of setting survival traps, this file explores the nostalgic horror of an abandoned reality. Archivist note: for classification and indexing purposes, the following clarification is included. Archive footage, a recovered log from a fictional survival scenario involving entities known as Nesters. All characters, events, and mechanisms depicted exist only within the narrative universe. Yeah, we know. Archivist here. This is the first of many logs I've edited together to share in hopes that anyone who watches can aid in our investigation. I need to know where he is and why. What is your theories on the Nesters, the man, we don't know his name yet, and where he is? We are going so quickly because this is the outro. My camera died, it's a completely different day, and I just got done editing this video. So in the next video, we're going to cover the rest of this. Not all of the rest of it in one video, but we're gonna do half of the rest of what's here, and then we're gonna do the rest of that next after a little bit, if that makes any sense. Basically, we're gonna split this into 3 videos is what I'm saying. And then once we do all 3 of those videos, there will probably be new content that we can cover, because this is still going, people. This is like a new ARG. So I'm excited to see actually new stuff, and if you guys are too, then leave a like and subscribe and all that stuff. Check out Patreon like these people, and I will see you guys in the next video, because we're going quick on this outro. Bye!